I heard somebody say once about 2 things you should never say in marriage. Those things are never and always. You never do this and you always do this. And I think the reason he said it is because emotionally it gives this idea of a finality, right? Today I want to speak about why some people never become excellent, and I want to place emphasis on that word never, because the things that I'm going to mention later, if people don't apply these things, they're never going to become excellent. Now, one thing I think is very important when it comes to excellence is desire. You have to have a desire to become excellent, and I think that's one of the main core issues. But later in the session, I'm going to give you a few stuff that's going to help you and teach you on how to become excellent if you really want to. Now, in the 1830s, about 1831, there was a woman called Aurore Dupin, and she wanted to become a writer very bad. And this is not my opinion, this is literally what they say. And that time in Paris, the only way for a woman to make money, it has to be married, so she gets money from her husband, or she has to become a prostitute. Those were the 2 ways that a woman could make money. So obviously a woman couldn't make money by becoming a writer. This woman, with her desire to become a writer, she thought like, okay, how can I do this? And many people said to her, listen, darling, you're not going to become a writer. You're a woman. You're never going to become great. Also, nobody's going to buy a book that is written by a woman. So she started to write, but she had I almost want to call it a stage name. And her stage name was George Sand. That's the name she put on books, George Sand, so that everybody would think she's a man. The history of her life also tells us that she would walk around with hats, with suits, and with cigars in her mouth, so that people couldn't see that she was a woman. Now, she was very proud to be a woman. It's not like she wanted to become a man, but she wanted to get this image out because she really wanted to accomplish that dream of becoming a very good writer. Eventually, she did become a very good writer, and she did succeed, but she really had to go the extra mile to succeed. A quote by Dinas Diderot said, "Do not people talk in society about man being a great actor? They do not mean by that he feels, but that he excels in simulating, though he feels nothing." But what he means by that is that people can mentally become great at something, although the feeling is not always there. Why do some people become excellent, and why do some people never become excellent? Excellent people, they know who they want to become, and they create it. I don't think anybody is exactly at the place where they want to be. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to kind of like recreate themselves. Everybody wants to find their authenticity. Just like that lady Aurora, she knew who she wanted to be, and she knew who she wanted to grow into, and she went to extremes to become that person. Now, people who never become excellent, they don't really know who they want to be. They kind of like take life as it comes. And if they really want something, they don't create it. It's too much effort. People might have something to say about it. They don't want to put in the hard work to become that person. People who never become great, they don't manage their emotions well. Like we just read from that quote, some of the best people don't become that because they feel like it, but they do it from a mental act. They decide who they want to be. They know exactly the mental exercises they have to do to become that person. They act on it, and they never give up. People who do not become great, or people who do not become excellent, are impatient. I think that's one of the things that I had to work on the hardest in my life, is that whole idea of patience, or the whole act of patience. If I ask for patience, I will ask it like this: give me patience and give it to me right now. That is how I want patience. And a lot of people are like that. People who really exceeded and people who really excelled in life knew that it took time. It wasn't an easy thing. It wasn't an immediate thing. It's something that they had to work on. So people who are impatient, those are people who don't stick with something. They keep on jumping around between things. And if you jump around between things, then you're never going to exceed. You're never going to excel. There's a saying that says, water doesn't cut through a rock because of its power, but because of its persistence. So people who never become excellent, they're not patient, and they are not persistent. So I'm going to give you a few more before I get there. Please remember to like, to subscribe, to leave a comment, and and to share this video if you believe this information can help people. Now, another thing that's important of people who become excellent, I do teaching and training on emotional intelligence and mindset, and this is one thing that I picked up when I speak at companies. The people who really excel love information. They love to gather information. I can see when I speak, they ask questions while we are doing the session. Afterwards, they ask where can they get more information, whether it's about myself, or many people ask, what books do I read? Where do I get my information? And they ask this because they want more information. So people who become excellent, they love to gather information. I know Robert Kiyosaki in his famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, said, if you don't know how finances work at the moment, don't worry too much at the practicalities about it right away, but start to gather information. Gathering information, knowing how it works at the moment is very, very important. So I've seen how people who become successful in their area, they keep on gathering information. They read books, they watch videos, they spend time with people who are further along than them in that area, and they ask them questions, they learn by mentors. They always want to grow. I've met 60, 65-year-olds, 70-year-olds who are very successful in life, and they still ask me, where can I get books? Where can I get information? Where can I learn about emotional intelligence? Where can I read up about the subconscious mind? How can I grow? And then I've met 20, 22-year-olds that don't want to grow. They kind of just want to get the day done. So I can see when I go into the workplace, people who don't excel are kind of like, I'm in the session because the boss made me come to the session, and I actually want to leave as soon as possible. I just want to get to work on time, and I just want to leave when I want to leave and just get my paycheck. I don't want to grow, and I don't want to carry on. So people who become excellent, they keep on gathering information. Another important thing, and it connects so well to this, people who never excel in life, they don't grow. They don't want to grow. They don't make plans to grow. They don't have a vision to grow. They stay stuck at the same place, and for them that is okay. This is my life. And sometimes it can happen because they had some disappointments in life, and because of disappointment they don't want to carry on. Maybe they haven't really learned or became resilient yet. But growth is a very important thing. Every single day you have to say, I'm not where I want to be, but I want to be better than yesterday. Tomorrow I want to be better than today. I want to keep on growing. And then they keep on learning. If you want to keep on growing, you have to keep on learning. So you will see how these three things that I just gave you connects to each other. You get information, you use the information to grow, and you keep on learning. So how many of you know you can have information, but you don't learn anything from the information? To learn from the information, you have to think about it, you have to meditate on it, you have to repeat it, and you have to apply it practically for you to learn something from the information. So you gather information, you grow, you learn. This is one thing that I see in companies a lot of successful people do that the unsuccessful people do not do. Another reason, and the last reason I want to give you today why some people never excel, they always do the bare minimum. People don't excel because they always just do the minimum. What is the minimum that is expected of me? I want to do that. I don't know if you guys watched Friends, and if you haven't watched Friends, please stop this video right away and go start watching Friends. A guy called Joey. In the story, Joey is an actor, and he said to one of the people, but he didn't know that this guy is one of the agents, and he said to the guy, I want to do the minimum work and I want to squeeze them for as much money as I can just by doing the bare minimum. Now a lot of people think like that, and that is why they never excel, and that's why they never become great. People who really become excellent, they do the maximum. They always do more than what is expected of them because they have a clear vision of what they want to reach. And it starts with your mind. It starts with a decision, and it also starts with how you see yourself. Do you see yourself as somebody who will never become excellent, or are you going to make a decision today to become excellent in everything you do? Some people never become excellent because they take bad advice from people. Now, just because somebody is a good person doesn't mean they give good advice. Sometimes good people give bad advice. I want to encourage you to go watch this video to see what are some of the worst advice that people give.